Hello, hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Jiayanu, Pachera Gale, Ni Hao, Chunashume, Washmale, Ohio Gonzaimes, Guten Morgen. Hola, bonjour, Privyet, Kaifahal, Hale Shama Chatore, Ahlan Wasalan Marhaba, Buna, Mucho, Gracias, Swabi and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning. Alongside the one and the only and the very fantastic Shazad Khan. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to rise and shine, wake and bake, get up and be more focused about what you want to achieve in life. And this is one of those messages which usually I think that I kind of keep on reiterating upon, and it's because of the fact that it has helped me quite a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, for people who actually are focused in life and he know or she knows that this particular thing is going to be a trap for me, they tend to avoid that. And for people who actually kind of do not know how to say no, I don't think that they're in a better place. So please make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you should know that how to actually strike a balance in your life and be more focused. And we are definitely sending prayers to all of those people in different 46 countries. We hope and we pray that everybody out there is perfect, fine, and is just doing great in life. And this is what life is all about. But today, ladies and gentlemen, is Wednesday. It is a very important day, and it's because of the fact that it's 11th September. Ladies and gentlemen, why it is important is something which really needs to be discussed. But when we say that it's 11th of September, back in 1948, ladies and gentlemen, the father of the nation died. And it is the 71st death anniversary of the father of the nation, Quaid Muhammad Ali Jinnah. We have a few visuals to share as well, and we'll definitely build up on that. But ladies and gentlemen, whenever we talk about Quaid Muhammad Ali Jinnah, I think that no matter what kind of words we use, no matter how much we glorify, but I think that this gentleman has definitely done a great job for the Muslims of the subcontinent at that time as well. And especially, when we say that it is the 71st death anniversary of the father of the nation, Quaid Muhammad Ali Jinnah, ladies and gentlemen, his death anniversary is actually being observed at a time when India has abrogated the special status of occupied Kashmir and has unleashed a wave of terror by imposing worse curfew and taking other draconian measures against the residents of occupied Kashmir. In this connection, a special ceremony of Quran Khwani and Fatiha will be held at the mausoleum of Quaid-e-Azam in Karachi. Ladies and gentlemen, whenever we speak about the father of the nation, I personally believe that there are a lot of people who actually try to follow his footsteps. And why not, when we actually have such an amazing personality to follow? After Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I believe that Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah has actually done a great deal for the Muslims of the subcontinent, and he was the one who actually made us, who actually gave us sovereignty, who actually gave us what we have today, who actually gave us this free space to breathe in as well. But today, I think that it is very important and it is very imperative in nature that we actually talk about the kind of person he is, or he was. And when we speak about that, ladies and gentlemen, he was the first ever Muslim boy in that subcontinent who actually passed law examination. And I think that, it makes me proud to know that Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah was actually the founder of Pakistan as well. But other than that, what kind of a lawyer was he? And the kind of struggle he put in to make sure that, we are actually going to practice sovereignty in a land which is just going to be dedicated towards our religious values. And I believe that it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of pressure to be the person he was. And the best part about Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, that he knew the kind of clothes he wants to wear. And I believe that everybody kind of follows him as well. And today, I actually wanted to wear those black and white shoes which he had. So I got them made. But unfortunately, I was short in time, so I couldn't wear them. But even when he was on his deathbed, he told somebody around him that, I actually want to be dressed up as well. So he had great fashion sense. And I mean, in whatever way you want to follow him, I think Quaid Muhammad Ali Jinnah has been an example for everybody out there, not just the Muslims of Pakistan, and I think the minorities of Pakistan even consider him the father of the nation, and all over the globe. The kind of services he's rendered for all of us, for all the Muslims, and the kind of services he rendered for Muslim League at that point of time, because in between he left Muslim League, and then Allama Muhammad Iqbal, Dr. Allama Muhammad Iqbal actually went up to him and he told him that, you are the one, if you're going to come back, only then Muslim League will actually prosper and will actually be able to get a piece of land in the name of Islam. And this is Islamic Republic of Pakistan. We're going live from here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're a free state, we're a free country, and we practice freedom over here. And none of our fundamental rights are violated within this land as well. And thank you very much, Quaid Muhammad Ali Jinnah, for giving us this confidence, this piece of land as well, which we call Pakistan. But to talk about his life, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by some very amazing guests over here. On my right-hand side, I definitely want to introduce her very professionally as well. But other than that, I just got to know that she's actually married to one of my friends, and Bhutta Saab. So thank you very much for allowing her to be on the show as well. But I think that she's very apt and she's going to build up on that. Because Quaid Muhammad Ali Jinnah back in the day actually gave a speech for all the civil servants. She, ladies and gentlemen, is actually representing that group of people as well. She's none other than Miss Aisha Fahad Shahbaz. She's a civil servant herself, and she's actually posted at the Prime Minister's house. Hello, assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Wa alaikum assalam, I'm fine. How are you?
Absolutely perfect. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for calling me. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And alongside Miss Aisha, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by somebody who is a motivational speaker, is the ex-information officer for United Nations as well over here in Pakistan. He's none other than Mr. Abdul Wahab. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Walaikum assalam, I am fine. What about you?
Absolutely perfect. Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you.
Thanks for inviting.
Thank you very much. And last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, we've actually been joined by a lawyer over here. And the best part is that the lawyer over here in the studio is actually a lady, and she's going to build up on the kind of lawyer Quaid Muhammad Ali Jinnah was. So, ladies and gentlemen, she's none other than Miss Saida Kashmala. Assalamu alaikum, good morning, how are you?
Walaikum assalam, good morning, what about you?
Absolutely perfect, thank you very much for joining us. So, first things first. So, I think, Miss Aisha, I'm going to start my conversation with you. How important do you think is this day? First of all, obviously, he's the father of the nation, we're remembering him, it's his death anniversary. But how do you think that we can actually let other people know that the kind of person he was? And do you think that this day is actually the day to take advantage of so that we can let people know that the kind of person he was?
Definitely, this is one of the most important days in the history of Pakistan, and definitely in the history of all of us who are Pakistanis and who have got this independent state to live in, and definitely for the civil servants.
Yeah.
Especially for the civil servants who are actually running the bureaucracy here, who are actually running the whole machinery of the state.
Yeah.
And honestly, what he said in his speech in Peshawar in 1948, addressing to all the civil servants, it's really important to understand that being a civil servant, I have to learn and I have to make sure that I am not the one that he pointed out. I am not the one who's under the political pressure. I am not the one who's doing any kind of a corruption or something like that. And this definitely is for my young fellows and for my senior fellows and for the people who are aspiring to come and become a civil servant.
Thank you very much for saying that. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll definitely dig upon that too as well, whether, all the bureaucrats are actually not under pressure or whether they are under pressure or not. These are the things which we'll build up on. But first up, Abdul Wahab Saab, what do you have to say about this day?
In fact, when we talk about Quaid, we should know, what type of person he was. He was not an ordinary person.
Exactly.
He had a charismatic leadership.
Yeah.
He used to speak English. And masses in India, they could understand Urdu or Hindi. But believe me, whatever he spoke, every single word was listened by the masses too attentively. And he would believe him. To have that sort of faith in masses, first one must realize that the integrity of a person, the honesty, the dedication, the commitment, the leadership qualities, if they're unique, if they are proven, if people have full faith in such a person, only then people will side with him.
Exactly.
Especially in the wake of circumstances in British India, people knew that they were playing with fire in the near future. They knew that overwhelming majority, Hindus, they won't allow them to have separate homeland.
Exactly.
They knew that they will have to cross rivers of blood. In spite of knowing all that, they got ready to sacrifice whatever they had.
Okay.
Believe me, if there would have been any other person except Quaid Muhammad Ali Jinnah, I am doubtful the struggle of Pakistan would have succeeded and would have culminated at the end, what we saw. Not only there, I mean, people really sacrificed whatever they had.
Yeah.
Women lost their honor,
Exactly.
old, child, everyone was butchered mercilessly. But even then, they had a hope.
Yeah.
They had the hope for a separate homeland. They migrated to Pakistan. The people over here, they had a sort of enthusiasm that they were going to build a Pakistan which would suffice the needs of Muslims. You know, why Pakistan was built, we have to tell our new generation, Pakistan was not the product of an overnight struggle.
Exactly.
Muslims had to fight for decades. And at the same time, we have to realize if we would have not really struggled for separate homeland, if we would have been in India, what would have happened? You had a glimpse of what is happening in Indian occupied Kashmir right now these days. I mean, Qaidin was, I mean, he had that foresight. He could foresee future. An average Muslim perhaps could not foresee that future.
Yeah.
His opponents over, at that time, he opposed him, but I'm 200% sure that today they would say he was right.
Exactly, and even at that time, there were a few political leaders who actually said that he was right, and which is why that we have been able to reach to this point as well. But other than that, ma'am, let's move on to you. So he was a fantastic lawyer, and I believe that he was a kind of person who's actually who always was welcoming to all of those people who actually needed help as well. But what kind of a lawyer was he? Let me ask you.
You know, being the youngest one among all the Hindus and Parsis, he had his struggle period.
He was only 19 years old when he passed his law examination. Yeah.
Exactly, when he came back to Karachi first and then he went to Mumbai.
Yeah.
And there he struggled for a bit because, it wasn't a place where Muslims were practicing. Mostly there were Hindus and Parsis. And even there, even when it was no place for a guy like him who was so young, who was strict in his rules, people often claim that we find him rude. But it wasn't his rudeness, it was his integrity. He wasn't moving a bit from the place where he stood right.
Yeah.
So he was there always. In that case, when the caucus case occurred, a Hindu came to him because he knew what sort of a person he was. He didn't choose any Parsi or Hindu. He chose him because even his friends and foes, they both knew he had this unimpeachable integrity.
Exactly.
They knew he could trust him. As Sir said, that even though most of people didn't even understand him, they still stood there in silence to listen to him because they know what that guy is saying, what that man is saying is right.
Okay.
So he was that sort of a person, and he was that sort of a lawyer as well, who stood by his word, who stood by his profession, and he stood by his people for this country today.
That's great, and which is why, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm going to cast a spell on all my amazing guests, because obviously Miss Aisha over here is actually going to let us know the kind of person he was and the kind of messages he gave for the civil servants, and then the kind of person he was and the kind of struggle he made as a political figure. Abdul Wahab Sahib is going to let us know as well, and Miss Kashmala over here is going to let us know the kind of lawyer he was. So I think what we need to do is to bring all of you on one page is that, okay, we're talking about his personality traits. First up is integrity, honesty, he was loyal to his people, and all of those things which you've mentioned now. Now, as of now, when we talk about 2019, we talk about Pakistan, let's talk about our leadership. And I believe, ladies and gentlemen, this is one statement which a lot of my family members gave, and I believe that I'm going to say too as well, that after Quaid Muhammad Ali Jinnah, I think that Pakistan has actually got a leader who's charismatic, who's honest, who's got his integrity intact, and I'm very proud of Mr. Imran Khan as well. I'm not saying it because of the fact that I'm on PTV, but the world says that, and I think that everybody needs to believe it as well, and I'm standing right behind his leadership. So now when we talk about all of these traits, integrity, honesty, loyalty, all of these things, don't you think that we actually see a few of the bureaucrats missing out on all of these characteristics? I'm sorry that I have to say that, but I think that we really need to remind them the vision of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah and where we are as of now.
Definitely, the reminder is always required for any person,
Yep.
whoever, whichever sector they belong to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not the bureaucracy that is needed. Definitely, bureaucracy needs a lot of this reminder, a
Yep.
huge.
Thank you very much for saying that.
understand. Oh, definitely.
Because
I
if you
would-
say that, then it truly means that it is required.
Definitely, that
Yeah.
is required. I am not saying everybody is alike. I am not saying that everybody is a true person to their state,
Yeah.
to the work that they are doing.
Yeah.
Definitely, everybody needs a reminder that now you are standing here, and this is who you are supposed to be.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the characteristics that your father of the nation, that your father actually wanted the machinery to have. So, being upright, being free of nepotism, being free of corruption, being free of all the pressures of anybody,
Yep.
being a political person, being a pressure group, being anybody. So, you have to have an understanding that where you stand. You have your own understanding, you have your own decision-making power. So, here the Quaid says that you have to be free from all these pressures.
Yeah.
You have to be free from all these things.
But they're
and
not.
Bureaucracy,
That's what I'm saying.
And bureaucracy
Yeah.
right now, they need to understand this fact that where do they stand and where are they supposed to be.
Exactly.
And this is how the machinery of the government is going to work in the future.
Exactly.
And if we are actually facing any of these, maybe you can say any of the issues right now that we are facing as me being a part
Yeah.
of bureaucracy, so putting this aside, pushing every bad or evil spirit in the bureaucracy right now, we can just prosper. So we have to promise this today, maybe because this is the father's.
I'm sorry that
death
I'm actually
anniversary.
putting you
Yes.
under hard light, but
Don't put me this way.
No, but I believe that this is something which I need to share with people out there. Now, for example, let's talk about the current regime, you know, the PTI leadership, Mr. Imran Khan, and all of those people are out there. Everybody over here in Pakistan, outside Pakistan, has witnessed that the bureaucracy actually refused to gel in with the kind of, with the kind of work they wanted to do. Why do you think that the bureaucracy wasn't in line with the leadership?
It is in line right now. If I can look at my,
It took a little time though.
No, it definitely took a little time, but definitely, I mean, if the media, I
Yeah,
might
go
be
ahead, go ahead.
saying
I'm ready
what
for
you
it. I'm
might
ready.
not like,
I'm
what
ready,
you might
ready,
not
yeah.
like, but definitely, bureaucracy was gelled in before as well. It is the media that portrayed things really bad.
Okay.
Honestly, you have to have this understanding as well. I mean, bureaucracy has to undergo the whole shift
Yeah.
that the new prime minister wanted to bring in.
Yeah.
Bureaucracy had to understand the new values. They have to understand what the taboo is
Yeah.
and what the value is.
Yeah.
So there is a change of taboo and a value
It's
here.
either way, that's what
It's
you're
either
saying.
way,
Yeah.
definitely. But definitely things took a little time, but now the machinery has started off. They have taken off.
Well,
So
that's good.
you can see that there is a huge change in the institutional memories and in the institutional functioning every single day.
Exactly.
So if you find out, if you go to a specified secretariat at some place or at some ministry, you'll find out things are pretty better. People are coming on time, people are going on time, or maybe they're sitting late. I mean, if I talk by myself, I'm sitting at 2 o'clock in the morning as well.
Wow.
So if people are working this way, definitely things are going to be better.
And we definitely need more people like Aisha in civil service, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not saying, I'm not labeling anybody, but all I'm trying to convey over here is that everybody needs to work together for the prosperity of the nation.
Definitely.
Because people have sacrificed their lives. If you go back in time, just like Mr. Abdul Wahab said, that, you know, we actually had to cross rivers of blood too as well. So we definitely do not want the sacrifice of people to go in vain. And we definitely want to build up on that. But Mr. Abdul Wahab, sir.
If you allow me,
Sure.
I would like to pick up from the same thread.
Sure, go ahead.
In fact, we have lost direction. It's not only bureaucracy.
Okay.
It's every department of Pakistan.
Yeah.
It's every
No,
single
that's
person.
correct. Okay,
You see-
that's where I'm coming. That's where I'm coming. You know, because you're almost answering the same question I was about to ask. This is
Yeah.
not what I'm going to ask you.
You're right.
Since you're going to talk about his political struggle,
Yeah.
let me ask you about of all the different political parties we have or who exist over here in Pakistan.
You're right.
How many times we have seen that Pakistan was actually on road to prosperity and success,
Yeah.
but political parties came in as a hurdle. How do you think that we actually align their motives in line with the success and prosperity and development of our country?
You're right. You know, first I must say, we have adopted a foreign system which is called democracy.
Yeah.
Democracy has to be adopted in with all its necessary details.
Yeah.
In democracy, the one who delivers, he stays. The one who doesn't, he leaves.
Yeah.
Alignment or likeness, I mean, party followers should remain party followers until and unless party is delivering.
Yep.
The time we realize leaders are not committed, they're not sincere, a single person is supposed to leave the party and to look for a party which has all democratic norms. So coming back to your question, democracy and what Quaidism had. Quaidism wanted that every political leader has to be accountable. Every political leader has to be honest, dedicated, sincere and loyal to the country.
Yep.
But unfortunately, as I said, we lost his disciplines, unity, faith and discipline.
Yeah.
You see? So what started happening, our leaders started taking democracy as personal rules.
All right.
In spite of knowing the history, they forgot that a leader has to have all those basic qualities. If a leader is corrupt, if a leader is insincere, if a leader gives more time to his businesses, factories, assets, and he gives less time to government,
Exactly.
that means he's not fit to be leader. He should immediately leave government.
Exactly.
So what we have to do is we have to really formulate rules that those who are in government should have no stakes in any other field,
Exactly.
should switch or should say goodbye to whatever they had, and they have to commit themselves to the government while keeping all those principles above.
Exactly.
No nepotism, no jobbery, no corruption. I mean, state interest, country interest have to be supreme.
The first priority, yeah.
Let me tell you, I mean, you were talking about bureaucracy. Many bureaucrats, they're having dual nationality.
Yeah.
I'm not saying only bureaucrats, politicians,
Yeah.
I mean, professors, every field of life. So basically what we have to do is we have to really think about our country.
Yeah.
We have to sort of renovate, I mean, our allegiance to Pakistan.
Okay.
And now we have to work seriously.
Yeah.
When I say work seriously, we have to be punctual, we have to be regular, we should go for minimum holidays, we should stick to our work as per defined hours of the government, wherever we are, either in private offices or government offices.
Yeah.
And there should be some rules that a person who gets a file or a task, he or she has to leave his desk when their job is finished.
Exactly.
You see, we have to adopt things. I mean, I don't say adopt things from Europe, US, Canada. Just see where China was 30 years ago.
Exactly.
I mean, they are doing wonders. They have improved dramatically.
That's correct, and I think that everybody gets this message as well. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, but I think that I'll have to be honest because the type of work I do is to let people know what's going on. And honestly, if we speak about the government institutions, as Aisha very rightly said, that there are people who are very dedicated, who are hardworking, who want to do something for the country. But then at the same time, we do have people who do not show up at 9. If they're supposed to be in their offices at 9, they are actually coming at 1 p.m. and then they're justifying by saying, oh, you know, we were sitting late and in the office. I mean, you sitting late in the office is of no use. It's because of the fact that every government institution is going to shut down after 5 o'clock. So what's the point of you sitting down? First things first. But other than that, now I have to move on to ma'am over here. And it's because of the fact that I've seen a lot of lawyers happen to my friends as well. What I've seen is that I think, I'm very sorry that I'm saying it, and I know that I can probably be in trouble because of this. But this is what lawyers do, man. And so you go to them, you ask them, you know, this is the problem I'm facing, can you help me? First things first, they'll say, oh, yes, we can particularly do that. And then you know, oh, it's lingering and it's lingering and it's lingering and it's 2 years and it's 3 years and it's 5 years. And justice delayed is justice denied anyways. But it's not usually because of the court. I believe that it's most of the time because of the lawyers that they actually want to get the fee out again and again and again and again. This is not what Quaid-e-Azam taught us. Why do you think that such a practice is still going on?
I won't say it's still going on. I think it's the base of it, unfortunately.
Okay.
You know, being a young lawyer, when I was a kid, I just wanted to be like Quaid-e-Azam.
Yeah.
And when you come in the field practically, you know, the procedures, the things, the way they go is just, they kill you inside.
Exactly.
You know, you somehow you become part of the system. What Quaid-e-Azam said, that equality, discipline and fair play. But where is the fair play in our systems today? I'm not saying everyone is like that. The person I am working with, my ma'am, Huma Jameel Babar, we work as an organization as well, Progressive Youth Society of Pakistan.
Wow.
We work free cases there as well. But only few people are doing that.
Exactly.
Most of the people, they just want you to be part of the system. It's okay, chale chalta hai aise.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the one who goes like chale chalta hai aise,
Yeah.
because you want to change things.
Exactly.
But yeah, but you know, people disappoint you in this way.
Exactly.
And the thing we need the most here is the education Quaid-e-Azam wanted us to have, the awareness our people need. We do want to be like Quaid-e-Azam, but nobody cares about reading about him. Nobody wants to imply the things he used to do.
Exactly.
I read about this case, Hanifa Begum case, that he fought in Jammu and Kashmir.
Exactly.
So this lady came to him. She asked him for the case, and he said no to her. He said that no, sorry, this can't be done.
No.
And that lady was so hopeless and disappointed. She thought that if this man is saying no, so nobody can do it.
Yeah.
And she tried that case. She lost it. And when she went to the appeal, Quaid-e-Azam said, now I will do it. Because he knew now the grounds were strong enough.
Yeah.
And then he won the case.
Wow.
And that lady said, why did you deny me in the first place? Because he said, because you didn't had enough grounds for that case. I wouldn't want to get money out of you only because I can get.
Yes, he was honest inside as
He
well.
was an honest person. And if you want to be like him, you have to have those honest practices in your daily routine, in your
Exactly.
daily life.
Yeah, and you have to be honest with yourself as well. But thank you very much for being with us. It was lovely to have you. It's about time that we wrap up this segment because, ladies and gentlemen, next up, we've actually been joined by a traveler. He's been to 100 different countries, and this time he was actually making a vlog about Pakistan International Airlines. It's a rain check for all of those people who are out there who are actually working for PIA. We've got a little experience to share, and Josh Gale is actually going to be on the show, ladies and gentlemen, right after the break. Please don't go anywhere. It's just going to be an eye-opener, but ladies and gentlemen, unity, faith, discipline, and integrity and self-awareness and self-actualization, I believe, are the most important aspects of life. Please make sure that you never give up on them. We're going for a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Good morning. Thank you. Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For everybody who just got tuned into PTV Wall, you watch your wall this morning alongside Shahzad Khan. Earlier, ladies and gentlemen, we were actually in conversation with some very amazing guests because 11th of September actually happens to be the death anniversary of Quaid Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who's actually the father of the nation and founder of the very land Pakistan, we know as Pakistan. But ladies and gentlemen, right now, earlier, since we spoke about the leadership, since we spoke about the behavior of the lawyers, since we speak about the people within the bureaucracy as well, because Quaid Muhammad Ali Jinnah gave a lot of messages to all of those people belonging from different walks of life. But other than that, I believe that it is very important for all of us to rectify wherever there are problems. So this gentleman, who actually happens to be hailing from Germany right now, but he was actually born in Australia, he's got his hands on a very unique kind of, well, if we say a niche, it's definitely equal to unique. But other than that, what he does is that he buys tickets from his pocket. Then he goes into different airlines. He travels from different airlines, and he makes vlogs, and he gives he lets people know that the kind of airline you have. So he recently actually traveled from Tokyo to Islamabad in Pakistan International Airline in a 777 Boeing. And he's got something to say about PIA. First of all, let's take a look at this video, and then when you guys are going to come back, we'll actually dig in a little deeper whether his flight was on time or not. Yeah. So this is him traveling, yes. And for everybody who's out there, if you want to see the detailed version of his vlog, what you need to do is that you definitely need to go check his YouTube channel, which is, I believe, with the name of Josh Cahill as well. Yeah, so that's how you're going to get all the details. And he was traveling by economy class. And let's see what he has to say. I'm a little scared today because I've traveled from PIA a lot, and I know that there are a lot of problems. But let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, on my right-hand side, Josh Cahill. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us. Lovely to have you. I was just a little scared. First up, it's national television. Second, we are actually going to talk about our national airline. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you that Pakistan International Airlines back in the day actually helped Emirates and a lot of other airlines to set up, which are actually the leading and the most successful airlines in the world now. But how was your experience, Josh?
Well, exactly as you said, it was one of the greatest airlines back in the days.
Yeah,
and
back in the day.
Yeah, well, and hopefully it's going to go back to its roots.
Yeah.
But I had a very surprising flight. It was the most requested airline of the year. So many followers I have from Pakistan. It's like, Josh, try PIA. Please come here and give it a try. And as we're like, so don't expect too much, But it turned out to be such an interesting flight because the crew was so lovely. I was really showered with Pakistani hospitality. They would feed me all the meals they had on their flight. So of course the fleet needs a bit of a renewal. The 777s might be a bit outdated, but they have all the potential, and they had a wonderful crew, and it was a great flight for an aviation geek.
Yeah, thank you very much for saying that. Thank you very much for saving the day for all of us. But in the first place, why did you actually choose to travel from PIA? And was it intentional, or was it just because of the fact that people were requesting you to travel on PIA?
Well, I do that for a living. So I have my YouTube channel, and I want to try as many airlines as possible.
How many have you tried so far?
Oh, 120.
120 airlines.
And there's so much more to...
and you pay from your pocket for all the tickets.
I do pay for my own pocket, so I can give people an honest review, so they didn't know I was coming. I mean, I'm sure there are some people who give a hint, he's going to be on board. They saw my Instagram stories. But yeah, it was... that's what I do. So, and then it came up. I was in Tokyo, and I had to make my way back to Europe. And so I came across PIA. I saw that they fly. They introduced those flights recently, and so I didn't hesitate for a second. I booked that flight. Glad I did.
Well, that's great. Okay, so let me ask you. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but honestly, I'm scared while asking all of these questions on national television. And for all of those people who are out there, it's not me who you really need to get your hands on. It's probably Josh Cahill or probably the people in PIA, because whatever he's going to say is going to be very true. He's going to be honest because he paid from his own pocket. PIA never gave him a seat. So first things first, Was it on time when you were leaving from Tokyo?
It was scheduled on time, but we didn't leave
was a
on
delay.
time, unfortunately. Yeah, exactly. But
After how long did you leave? Okay, so if, for example, the flight was supposed to take off at 4 p.m. from
Yeah.
Tokyo, what time did you take off?
we picked like 1 hour of delay
1 hour delay.
and then you have a stopover in Beijing,
Okay.
and then so I don't know what happened. Maybe the airplane got lost on the runway somewhere, and then we added another hour of delay. However, we made it late night into Islamabad, but I didn't mind to the delay because
Okay.
I had no connection.
Yeah. But I believe that it's an eye-opener. Well, it's not even an eye-opener. I believe that people at PIA definitely know that they have lack of resources and that they actually have to manage with the time and with the kind of planes they have actually got. So, you know, I believe that everybody out there knows that. The second part, because, and this is something which I'm very sure of, Pakistan International Airlines has actually got the best pilots in the world. How was that? While you were in air, was there a little bit of turbulence or any problem you came across?
Well, you know, pilots have very little influence on turbulences or whatever, but I have heard that they are very well trained and that they have trained pilots all around the world.
Exactly.
So, like, everybody was saying, oh, there's going to be always hard landings with PIA or not. It was just soft, like as butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that like was not a concern at all, yes.
Exactly. So it's always, ladies and gentlemen, the man or the woman behind the trigger. So yeah, that's what he's saying. Whether the 777 Boeing was an old plane or not, the pilots did a great job. Third up is hygiene.
Hygiene. Well, like,
Was
as
it
I said, like,
clean,
It was
even
it
the
was
space you
clean. It
had?
was surprisingly clean. You know, there's always this scene everybody looks forward to.
I mean, this is something I'm not getting. Why you say it was surprisingly clean? I mean,
Because-
was it your first experience with PIA? Or
Yeah, it was. It was my first flight,
Okay,
and
good.
I've been on like an Indian Airlines, and it's a bit of a different issue. But like I was on that flight, and everyone was like, all the messages I got, I thought I was going on the worst flight of my life. But however, it wasn't that bad. But people probably didn't want me to have high expectations. But yeah, no, it was clean. It was. Of course, the airplane is dated, but I'm sure maybe somebody from PIA is probably watching right now, and they should get some new airplanes, and with their crew, then it's going to be okay. But it was lovely. It was not as bad.
That's great. Okay, for people of our generation or people of Josh Cahill's generation, ladies and gentlemen, since people are vlogging these days, so they definitely need internet. Did you have Wi-Fi on board?
No, I think now you expect a lot from PIA. They're
I'm
not
just
there
letting
yet.
people know what you experienced.
No, of course, we all want to be connected all the time. That's
Wow.
right. But there was no, not even the in-flight entertainment was working. But I love, people at PIA are aware of this. And my purse at the flight, he said, Josh, you know, we have bigger problems at the moment to worry about in-flight entertainment. But that means they're focused and they know what they have to sort out. But yeah,
So number 4, in-flight entertainment.
yeah.
Did you get a chance to see movies or listen to songs, something?
I wish there was a screen in front of me, but
working?
it wasn't working.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Good.
I
So
think
the only
this-
thing which was working in the plane was your seat, right?
My seat
you
was
recline
actually,
it?
I could recline it. It went back and forward. That was definitely, and the table in front of me was also like folding out. Yeah. The airplane was working. Both engines were working. So I think that is what is most important. But no, it has been a good flight.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So when you say that it's been a good flight, what do you think of when you say good flight? The crew?
Well, yes, of course. When I go on a flight, I have to be. It's not going to be Emirates. It's not going to be Qatar Airways or Singapore Airlines. You know, I have to keep that in mind. So then you have to be with your judgment. You have to have a different sense of judgment. So I come in there. I don't expect to have a shower or a flat bed. You know, but what I was expecting is the hospitality, good food. Yeah, like wonderful biryani on there.
Yeah.
And this is what it is all about. And that's where I said it was a very unexpected, great experience because the crew over-delivered. They were so friendly. They were so nice. And I think this is what Pakistan stands for, hospitality, you know. And if you combine this and you get new airplanes and you work on this, there is absolutely you're going to be one of the best airlines in the world again, you know. But they know where the issues are. You know, the hard product. We always say the hard product, and then there's the soft product. The soft product was excellent, you know, and they're up there with other five-star airlines in the world when it comes to their service and hospitalities and the smiles they had. Yeah.
Well, that's great. And ladies and gentlemen, ever since, because my first choice is always PIA, other than the fact that, I would definitely love to travel in other airlines, which I have, but in the first place, I would always want to go from PIA, and it's just because of the fact that I'm in love with my country and every institution the country owns. But other than that, the tagline for PIA says great people to fly with. So what do you have to say about that?
Well, this is like, I mean, there are some very cheeky taglines in the industry,
Yeah.
but this one is just, it's just perfect, it matches the airline,
Yep.
and this is what I guess Pakistan is all about, What I've experienced in those 5 days is incredible. Those people here are so kind, so welcoming, and so you have everything you need. You have all the tools, like just now,
And
do
it's
something
great.
about it.
And it's great, which is why towards the end, there's only one last question. That is that it is, I'm only, usually most of the time, I'm actually concerned about the type of people who are actually going to fly with me, because if it's like an infant or a baby and, he or she starts to cry, your flight's messed up. So what kind of people did you get to experience, or, because we know that Pakistanis are definitely in love with foreign people as well, and they want to be very hospitable towards them. So what was the kind of experience you had while you were on your chair? Were you in conversation with other people? Were they friendly to you? Did you ask a lot of questions?
Well, that was the interesting thing. Since I'm there with my camera and
Yeah.
I'm vlogging, everybody was so curious.
Yeah.
I was like, what's this white guy doing on this airplane filming himself all the time? So yeah, people actually came to me, they approached me, they said, and everybody was literally giving me their phone number. If you need anything in Pakistan, if you need any help, don't worry, we're going to sort this out. So yeah, like
Yeah.
flying on Pakistan Airline it's a great experience. The audience is lovely.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
great
so very
passengers.
quickly, out of 10, being the best and 1 being the lowest, how much would you rate PIA?
When we talk about the crew, I give them a solid 9.
Okay.
When I talk about the plane, I would say a 5.
5. Okay, that's great. Well, thank you very much, Josh, for being with us. It was lovely to have you, and we
Thanks for
definitely
having me.
want to have you back as well, because, ladies and gentlemen, earlier when I was in conversation with him, he told me that this is the only thing he does. He takes off, goes to another country, does a review for the airline, and come back. But I've actually requested him, just like other people on the flight, if there's anything you need, you can definitely let us know. We'll be at your service. And the northern areas of Pakistan are very beautiful. Not that Sindh is not, but even the Arabian Sea part, from Sindh, Balochistan. So we have got the highest cold deserts as well. And there's a lot of nature to share with you. So next time, whenever you're in Islamabad or in Pakistan, just let us know. We'll have you over again. But thank you very much, Josh, for being so honest, and thank you very much for reviewing our national airline as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, everybody knows where the fault is. It's just that some people actually tend to blindfold themselves from the reality. And I believe that people who blindfold themselves from reality does actually blindfold themselves from the future, which can actually be bright. But if you're going to blindfold, it's going to be dark. Please make sure that you do a reality check for yourself as well, and for people who are actually surrounding you, but let them know only if they want to know what you think about them. So please write to us on our Facebook page, which is with the name of World This Morning. On Twitter, it's World This Morning without a G. On Dailymotion, on YouTube, it's PTV World, and then you can actually look for our shows, which is World This Morning as well. On Instagram, it's World_This Morning, and please make sure that you check out Josh Cahill's YouTube channel as well, and the review he did for PIA. I'm just going to go and check that out as well. So look after yourselves, and a very good morning. Stay blessed. Thank you very much.